Hello, welcome to Kevlar's Quest, the Modern Life podcast. I'm Kevin Ijezi. Our quest for today is why she is in charge when men trade power for peace. Why she is in charge when men trade power for peace. Now, guys, today I'm speaking directly to you. My goal is to help you prevent your relationships from derailing. Every relationship is unique, but if you followed my work, you will know I believe relationships thrive when the man is the captain, they are adored, and the woman is the passenger, the adorer. Why? Because when the man maintains frame, the authority to define the structure, terms, and roles within the relationship, then both partners tend to be more satisfied and the relationship is more likely to endure. Despite modern mixed messages, most women still desire a confident man they can look up to, someone who initiates and leads. Yet, in about 99% of relationships that I've studied, the woman holds more power and controls the frame. Interestingly, the few relationships that I've personally considered to be happy all had one thing in common: the man retained frame. Now, what do I mean by a man retaining frame? The man being able to be in control of the relationship. So, why do women often end up controlling it then? There are two main ways this happens. From the start, some men who are lacking confidence or attractiveness offer control to women as a bargaining chip to enter a relationship. Now, I call this the ferry captain strategy. Why do I call it the ferry strategy? The ferry captain strategy is because the woman is the ferry and the man is the captain, and the man is trying to woo the woman who is the ferry. He, being the captain, wants to do everything for the ferry because he feels that the ferry is so beautiful, so nice, so he starts worshipping her. These men trade authority for access, believing happy wife, happy life is the cost of doing business. So to them, they have a strategy of, okay, this woman is a fairy. Let me admire her so much. Why I'm now the captain. I know that I'm the captain, but I will worship this fairy because she's so beautiful and so nice, so that she can grant me access to her love. And that is very wrong. Those are the men that believe in happy wife, happy life. Now, the second way this happens is over time. Some men begin as full-fledged captains, but gradually they lose frame through small concessions. Think back to your first date. You likely made the plan, set the time, and created the experience. That's frame. Women rarely initiate that kind of structure, and they reward men who do. But as relationships progress, men often surrender frame in two ways. Number one, how they surrender frame is through external pressure, emotional manipulation. Women use pity, shame, anger. They use it to push men to give up control. And men that do not like conflict will gladly give up control to women because they don't want conflict. In extreme cases, this looks like threats of divorcing the man or leaving unless her demands are met. Then the second way that men surrender frame is through internal seduction. Many men convince themselves to give up frame, believing it will lead to peace or deeper connection. But this often leads to imbalance and dissatisfaction. The man will say, okay, let me give up my frame in order for me to have a deeper connection with this lady. But at the end of the day, the woman will actually see you as weak for giving up your frame because it makes you look needy. And women do not like needy men. Let's talk about a critical turning point in relationships. When a man begins to lose frame, this usually happens when he becomes emotionally overinvested. So as men, try not to be overly overinvested in a woman emotionally, because that's when you are now ready to do anything she says, and by that you'll be losing control. And this distorts his thinking and activates latent romanticism. That romanticism often leads him to either sacrifice excessively for his one and only or chase the ideal of equal partnership. Now, let me even address this equal partnership that a lot of men think that when they do, that it will be good for the relationship. While partnership sounds noble, it's actually the most common male romantic ideal today. And that one really works in practice. Now, why do I say it really works? A woman may say, I want 50-50, but in practice, she doesn't want 50-50. In fact, women usually look down on men who actually ask them for 50-50. Because what it means is that you are not in control. You also want her to come and be in control of the relationship. Most women don't want to be pedestalized or partnered. They are drawn to men who create experiences using their autonomy, creativity, and resources. That's what works. Deviating from this structure is risky for you as a man in maintaining that lady. So how does frame get lost? It starts when the man is emotionally invested, especially over-invested. The woman asks for something he authentically doesn't want to give. These requests can be big. Big like, okay, let's get married. A woman comes and tells you, let's get married, when you know that you're not ready. Or it may be small by saying, let's go bird watching on Sunday, or let's go to a park or to the zoo on Sunday, when you know that you are not cut out for that. But they usually begin subtly and they gradually escalate. If the man weren't emotionally invested, he will simply say no. But once fear sets in, fear of her disappointment or departure, he starts compromising his authenticity because he's afraid of losing the woman. And that is actually needy to a woman. Here's the truth. Fear lies to men. If she truly needed those things to stay, she would have left already. You have gotten this far by being authentic. And that's what attracted her to you in the first place. So if we are working already, people are working as a good relationship, don't fix it because that frame is working to you already. Don't think that by the time you do everything, that's when she will now love you more, or you will have more connection. Maintaining frame means clearly stating, this is what I will do, this is what I want. Let her opt out or in if she wants to. She's entitled to her feelings and you don't need to rescue her from them. She's an adult. She can handle disappointment. The temptation to surrender frame will always exist, but it's easier to resist early. Fight the small battles before they become big ones. This is why I pity men who their ladies control. Let your wife or let your girlfriend know you as someone that make good decisions, not someone that she can manipulate in order to make the one that favors her. Think of it like running a business. If employees dictated their own salaries, the company would collapse. Relationships work the same way. Give too much and you risk insolvency. Give too little and people may leave. But that's a manageable risk. The bottom line of all this is that a woman who sees you as her best option won't leave because you said no. But the more you say yes out of fear, the more expensive and unsatisfying the relationship becomes. Hold your frame. Hold that your masculine frame. Recognize fear. Don't surrender to it. Okay, that's our quest for today. Please subscribe, like, and share. Someone out there needs to hear this message. Maybe someone like you. Let's spread strength and clarity to those navigating this journey. We'll talk more in future episodes. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for listening and take care.